Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Rachel.
I'm Victoria.
And we're Twintorials. Woohoo, we did it. Okay, today we're going to be going over our mini palettes basically. So we have Kaja stacks in there, so we would consider those like mini palettes, but
we keep them all in this Kaleidos bin that we have. Anything that fits in here is considered a small palette, essentially.
Yeah, and I thought we were just talking about what palettes we wanted to go over next for our Rediscovering Eyeshadows kind of series. And we were like, oh, let's do the minis, because I don't dip into them very often. And I think a mini would be like way up my alley now. So let's just jump into it.
We have 3 different Kaja stacks here. I haven't pulled into these recently, but when they're out and in my things, I pull for them constantly.
Yes.
This one is one that survived our declutter of our other 2 like regular Kaja stacks. This is the Rosewater Quad. This is the first one I think we ever had.
I actually have one more of those.
This is a Rosewater. You're a Rosewater.
I have the cranberry one in my work laptop bag.
Oh, you do?
I don't know why.
To declutter it.
I don't know why. It just made its way in there one day.
Anyway, we have Pan in 2, well, almost 2 of the shades. Yeah, and this is just a really good, like, all 3 of the shadows are really beautiful in here, but the top 2 in the stack are just phenomenal. You have this one that's, I mean, like a rose, a sparkly, like, plummy rose almost, like cooler tone rose. And then you have this really, really sparkly, almost ColourPop Frog.
Right, that's what I was gonna
say. Which you could all obviously go for ColourPop Frog and that would be cheaper. But this is just a really good stack altogether. And we have, what do you call it? Peach Madeline. And then we have Mauve Bouquet. So these, I think we got these both in PR.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And these are not special for the middle or bottom shades.
But the top shades.
I mean, they work fine. The bottom is a matte and the middle is like kind of a mid-tone shimmer.
Right.
But this top highlight gold.
It's like the Danessa Myricks light work formula.
Yeah, it's like flaky and divine. And same within here. It's almost the same color as this one, just slightly different.
Cooler.
Yeah, and this one has more rosy tones in it while this one has like some peachier tones. So they're a little bit different, but they're all 3 just like...
Now, if Kaja ever came out with like a rainbow shimmer quad or like stack of sorts, like they have such, like they could, like Melts really kicked themselves in the shin when they stopped doing those magnetic ones because those were
I feel like that if they brought those back now,
they would sell out.
It's like they were ahead of the time. I feel like, because I mean, well, sort of. Because they sold well for a while, but then they kind of died out because people were like, I'd rather have a palette like this. But I really like something like customizable and switchable, and I like big pans that like don't mix into other things too. So when it comes to like a matte shadow, I would love it like in a big pan like that, like a big matte white in a stack.
That's exactly what I was thinking, a big matte white.
And I remember when Melt came out with their Rust stack or whatever, I wanted the blur shade.
So bad.
I
have 4 different Auric cream shadows. This is Samantha Ravindal's brand. She is my tried and true on YouTube. Anybody who, like, I don't watch YouTube all that often, but if Sam posts a video, I'm going onto YouTube.
Go watch it.
Ride or die. But the original shades that we got were Ego and Temper. Temper is the most used by Vic, definitely. I have barely used it. It's not my color story. It's a rose,
so my
pink. So I don't ever use it because it's just not exactly the colors that I pull for. I do love the way I look in these tones. They're just so feminine that I avoid them. But they've got this like shimmery, break it, Rachel. This shimmery kind of topper shade, and it's kind of almost like hard pan, but it's got these like little shimmers in it. And then they all have this like bottom cream shade. So this one's got pan in it, it's most used. It was just in our favorites as well. And then Ego is a much cooler tone shade. It's almost like a green gray, so it's not like...
It's a very unique gray.
It's a unique gray. I would say it's flattering on fair skin. I didn't find it to be as flattering on myself when I was a little bit tanner. I still liked it. Like in our initial review, I liked it. It was unique. It was fun. But I think it's way more flattering on me now that I'm fair. Like every time I've put it on since I've been fair, I've been like,
it's a really pretty
that looks really nice. So just something to speak to there. I don't know if anybody with deeper skin tones has that issue, but. And then we have Entice, which is a green, a dark green with a just like gold flaky shimmer. And then the last one is cranberry or something. It's called Disrupt, and it's a cranberry.
I thought for sure I'd use the crap out of this, and I've used it maybe twice.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous. Every time I've used it, I've loved it. I used it when we were in Tennessee, and I was like, holy shit, that's pretty. So I do really like it. I think the topper shade in this one is really special. It's more of a duochrome than the other ones. But I do love like the setup of these stacks. I just need different shades to pull into them more. You know what I'm saying? But I would happily buy another one of her lip masks.
Oh yeah, that thing was so good. So we have 4 different quads from Kaleidos. These don't have names on the back, so forgive me.
I'll put them on the screen when I'm there. Oh, these ones
well,
do.
These ones do. Okay, so this one is called Twilight Rush. This is the like kind of purple grayish quad they released. I haven't used this a ton, so I can't really. It's a good one. Like I like their formula quite a lot, but it's not one that I've pulled into a lot. But I did really like Sparkly Black. This one, however, what are you called? Venus Trap. Shut the front freaking door. This is insanity. This sparkly shade is so good. I love this quad of tones. This reminds me of like that one Wet n Wild quad.
Right.
Do you remember? But like so pumped
Yes.
up.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then these are the older ones that they had. I think it's Cold Brew was one of them, and
Can't remember that one.
I can't remember this one. Like Cold Smoke or something. I don't know.
Smoke.
That's a lipstick name. Anyway, this is the black and silver quad. I love this one. The silver in here is like ridiculous. It's not a like light and bright shimmer.
It's also a black based,
but it's like
silver.
a gunmetal kind of color, like with a gray base. It's so spectacular, and the black in here is really good. And I do really like both of the gray mattes. They're very functional gray mattes, and they're like true grays, not like green grays or blue grays or, you know. They're like real gray, you know, straight gray. And then last one, I think Cold Brew is the title. No.
Is it? I thought it was.
No, because that's one of the lip clay names, right? Is Cold Brew.
I don't know. I use lip clays like that.
I don't know. I love this one. This one definitely gets a lot of use from us. It's a little warmer in tone, but this shimmer right here is not, I wouldn't say warm. It's like a pearlescent pink almost, but not pink. It has like silver in it too, and some like mauve and neutral brown. I don't know. It's so good.
I just wanted to hold it up and compare it. I think it's so good to have both of these. Like having both of these is so nice for me because I can
dibble dabble in between.
Yes,
if you want to cool it down over here and switch the shimmer. But these shimmers are like they're similar, but they are different.
Yeah, they're similar but different.
Similar but different.
And this one's superior.
They're both so good.
Okay, so next we have our friend Viseart. Now these are only our minis, but I don't know if we've mentioned it on YouTube, and I'm sure everybody would be shocked. We actually got rid of our big Viseart palettes, our Grand Pro Volume palettes. Do I regret it? Yes. That is maybe the only one that I regret getting rid of is my Grand Pro Volume 3. But I didn't use rainbows, you know, so it made sense just to sell it to somebody else, but then it shattered in transit, so I didn't make any money. So, you know, that's part of the reason I regret it. But Vic got me a few different Kaleidos palettes like last year.
Viseart?
Yes. Viseart palettes last year, maybe. And
I think it's for our birthday this year.
Oh, our birthday this year? Okay. Well, I guess technically last year, we're in 2024. This one was a free gift with purchase.
It was,
actually,
on their website.
On their website, which is the Petite Pro Soleil. Okay, just the Soleil one. This one's super cute. I haven't dipped into it a ton. I did dip into it once or twice when I first got it.
I have this one.
But this one I think I'm going to use more in summer though, so it's like I'm not like itching to dip into it, but it's so pretty. This like bronze shade was gorgeous with the purples. I just like how cute.
They're so compact, and I love how small they are. I really do.
This one is the Petite Editorial Brights. So this is basically a condensed version of the Grand Pro Volume 3, a very condensed version. If you've ever seen the Grand Pro Volume 3, I miss it so much.
And these minis, I think, are newer. Like, they came out last year or the year before. I don't know, but they didn't. This was normally like one of their $80 or like $90 ones.
Yeah, and then anyway, but I love the fact.
I used this one today, actually.
I dip into this one a little bit. You can't really tell, like, but Viseart mattes are really, really pigmented typically, so it's a very gentle tab. But it's really nice to have a really cute, like, condensed rainbow palette versus having some big, like, Be Perfect Carnival palette.
It helps limiting those options.
Yeah. My favorite of them all, well, of those three, is this one, which is the Petite Matte's Cool. This is so freaking good. Like, it's just mattes. It's just boring old mattes. But every single time I've used this palette, I've been like, that is maybe the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen in my life when I look in the mirror. So, like, I know these tones are for me.
They're really good.
And then probably my favorite of all of the Viseart palettes is this 04 Dark Mattes. I don't dip into it very much recently.
They have a mini of this as well.
Yeah, I should put this in my bucket because I would get a lot of use out of this. I love how grungy and gross these shades are. They are not bright, they are not loud, they are these like grungy, murky greens and oranges and purples and browns. Like, they are so gross. I don't know how to explain it other than like
just really murky and mucky, really desaturated.
Right, and it's not a type of palette that you find anywhere else. I love having these shades, and like when I have it available to me, I use the crap out of it. I got a ton of use out of this in the last year. This is the Viseart Paris Love Letter palette. We have a video on YouTube. I got this shortly before I cut my hair off. It was like the video before I cut my hair off, I think, or 2 videos before I cut my hair off is when we bought this. How I remember that, don't know. Anyway, but I have 5 pans in here. And
is that in a project pan?
No, it was when we were off of YouTube. It was just my favorite palette. But I was also, I had orange hair for a while, and so I was going for warm, peachy tones. And I would use this palette as my blush bronzer highlight. We brought it to Tennessee with us. I used it for my blush bronzer highlight. Like, I loved this thing. It's got such great tones in it. The shimmers are gorgeous. The Papa Green's fun if you're trying to do something fun, but I just think it's a really good standard, light, warm, peach neutral palette. Light is the key word. There's not a deep shade in here, all right? That one brown is not deep. That is my qualm with this palette. Not everybody can use it.
That's a mid-ranger.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of quads from Charlotte Tilbury as well. I don't know how often these have appeared in our YouTube videos. I want to say a couple of times, definitely. Yeah. This one.
That was that in Project Pan?
I think this one was, yes.
It was me.
Like an unofficial.
An unofficial one. This was another one that I used while we were off of YouTube.
Yeah, I think we did a lot of unofficial project panning.
I used it a lot before I dyed my hair orange, and that's why I switched. Why I switched. Okay.
This is the Dazzling Diamond palette of pops. This reminds me a bit of the Natasha Denona Gold palette, just desaturated a hair. Like these gold tones are a little olivier. You know, they're not gold. They're olive gold.
Yeah.
And then you got this deep teal and this really pretty, like, sparkly topper shade. If you haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury, like, quads, they're kind of hard pressed. They remind me a bit of the top of the, like, Auric shadows. But they also have that same kind of, like, fine sparkle in them.
But I don't think they're all created equal, which is why I have not bought another one, because I don't trust buying them online.
That's why I've only gone for the palettes of pops so far. And this is the Pillow Talk palette of pops, which I'm shocked I never got any pan. Well, I think this one actually technically was a pan, but I covered it back up.
They're very dipped into those. So.
They're super dipped into. I love this thing. It paired really well with my Auric temper shadow that I was using. And I normally have my hair a pink tone. Not normally, but I did for a long time. I had a pink tone and then a cranberry tone and like a purplier kind of tone.
Switch back.
So I was jumping a lot into those like rosier kind of mauve shades.
Right.
And I used the crap out of this, but I could not get myself to get a pan on it because I suck.
This Papagraph quad survived our declutter. The other one did not. And I can give you some explanation as to why. Just look at it.
I need to pull this one out again.
Yeah, I do.
So good.
I would consider buying more quads from Pat if she would release literally anything but a freaking pink. I don't know how Pat McGrath managed to be boring since we left YouTube, but they
since that love palette or whatever that we bought, the like Divine Rose 2.
Yeah.
It's been only
pinks.
What, Divine Roses? Divine Rose 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I don't know.
I'm so sick of it.
It's like everything's a Valentine's Day release.
I don't like it, and I commented on her most recent like teaser, and I was like, please, not another pink quad. Guess what just came out? A quad. And one of the shades, it's a pink. The other shade, it's a purple.
It's just a little overdone.
Do more, please. Anyway, when she was on her game, she released this. This is the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad. I believe we did a review on this on YouTube. We also really wanted the one that had the red that came in the same era. It had this really pretty like gold sparkle. That's the only reason I wanted it, and I was not going to pay $70 for the gold sparkle.
Did we not buy them?
No, we never did.
Did we only just buy them?
The other one we had was, it had the green and the blue and the purple.
Oh,
and it was like really special. The Astral Quad.
Yeah, the Astral. Yeah, Divine Astral. Or something.
Divine Astral Quad, and yeah, I don't know.
Blitz
something. Yes, I'm with you. Yeah. It was so good, but
Astral.
We were trying to get rid of the things that we were not using, and realistically, we weren't touching it. And as you can see from most of the ones we've talked about, we've mentioned, haven't pulled this out in a while. Really like this, but haven't pulled this out in a while. Which is, the intent of this series, to see things that we haven't pulled out. But that just speaks to why we had to get rid of some of the other ones. Because if we're not dipping into it already, and the color story is not something that we were
sitting unused.
Yeah, so somebody else can get it. Doesn't mean I don't love it. It's just gone now.
And I have one of these little quads from Noblet.
The something cutie?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, it's right on the front. Wild Berry Cutie palette. I like this palette. It's not my favorite. Their matte formula is not my favorite, and their shimmer formula is not my absolute favorite. But I do like it. It works well. I find that these mattes are a little dry, but I didn't get a ton of use out of Botanic Juice, this orangier one here. But I got a lot of use out of this cranberry and then this blackberry shade. The same kind of use I've gotten out of these two top shades in the Glamlight palette. That's what I was using this for before I really realized that I like this formula more. So this one probably could stand to be decluttered in the next couple of, minutes. But I just think it's so cute. And I remember I wanted this for
Yeah,
it was on my Ulta Loves list for ages and ages and ages. And I saw Jay Kissa use the shade Alchemy 2.0, and on her it looked like the most stunning bedazzling shade I'd ever seen in my life at the time. And now I have other formulas that are pretty. This one's really
I do like the base of this one.
The
base color of this. It's a nice it's like a rose, but it's got that pink purple nutty from the Smoky Glow palette.
Yeah, it does kind of remind me
with a beige
kind of base. Yeah. So, it's a pretty palette. I do like it. I might try and pull it out here again in the near future because I'm thinking of going back pink. But, we'll see what happens. Might end up in a declutter.
Can I pet that dog?
I want to pet that dog!
This is the NYX Ultimate Edit palette. There's a just Petite Shadow palette in Ultimate Utopia. I was really, when NYX came out with their big Utopia palette, I really wanted it. I knew that I wasn't going to use it, so I didn't purchase it, but every time I saw it being used, I was like, I want it. It's this big, pretty palette. So instead I ended up buying, did I buy this?
I think I bought that.
Or did you put it in my Christmas stocking?
It was in your stocking.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't remember buying this. So it was in my stocking. This is super cute. I don't dip into it very often, but every time I have, I've loved the look I've come up with.
It's an impressive little palette.
It's more impressive than you would think. And having these, the tones in here they're just so fun to pair together. So the only outer corner choice you have is this deep eggplant purple. Now you can mix it with the orange, to make it a little bit less purple and more brown.
Neutral, yeah.
But it just leaves a lot of room for fun. So you've got a green eyelid with a purple outer corner, or the gold eyelid with a purple outer corner, or this peach with the purple outer corner. And so it just kind of it just changes it up a little bit. So that's why I like this one. Again, don't pull into it often, but something I could probably stand to put in my bucket and get some use out of.
It's just a cutie one.
It's just a cutie one.
Okay. So this is the Dose of Colors Smoky Soiree palette. I was just thinking, I haven't checked out Dose of Colors in a while. They probably don't do a lot.
I would like their lip gloss again, thank you.
Oh yeah, that lip gloss is so...
What was it? It was just that concealer nude dream.
Oh, it was so good. Anyway, this is what the palette looks like. It's really beautiful. Actually, now that I look at it, I see that this kind of color is reminiscent of that Kaleidos color and the Smoky Quad I like so much. This one has a slightly like warm base though, I feel like just ever so slightly. I don't know how to explain it. And then same with this like neutral or shimmer here. It looks light and bright, but it actually is not as light and bright as it looks. Not on me anyway.
Right.
It translates as like a really nice beige like sparkle all over the lid. It's so pretty. Then you got this terracotta color. I don't care about that. But these 4 shades make the most stunning look. Like I just really like the formula of this palette. And I think I got it specifically because I wanted the black. I was on the hunt for like my favorite black in the world. Now black is not like the only color for me. But
dude, you used to go through black eyeshadow.
I love my black eyeshadow. It works so well. Because I really like that depth on the outer corner.
Is that all of them?
And that's all.
Alright, that is all of them. So that was all she wrote. Yeah, that's all she wrote. I am really excited actually going through these. It was kind of nice to go through and see what all we have in the mini palettes again. Not that I didn't know, but
until we talk about it.
To refresh my memory, to open them up, look at them, and then not only that, after this I can do swatches. So that'll be super fun too. But Vic and I have been talking about like trying to be more consistent, which I'll be saying that for probably another year before it happens, but the goal would be to treat you to how we did when we were first on it. Not when we were first on it, but once we got into it, we were in such a good filming habit. Like it was like we always wanted to film.
It was just part of our
life.
Our weeks. Like we always filmed on a couple of days a week, and we would spend time at night doing that, or in the morning doing that. And it's just harder to do that now.
Our schedules are so different. Life is so different.
I mean, we were not adults when we started YouTube. Like
right.
I was
a child.
I wasn't even pregnant when I started YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, like we did YouTube before, and then I got pregnant, and I started doing it after Charlotte was born. So things have just changed. You know, Charlotte is bigger.
Yeah,
a lot bigger.
Yeah,
and crazier. So my time is consumed.
Yeah, our goal is going to be to do a little bit more TikTok. Not for any reason other than it seems to be the right platform.
Instagram is not. It's hard to get our content pushed, and I know that it's
also hard to see.
It's hard to see content that we have chosen to follow because it's mainly ads or sponsored, like popular
or
content.
Recommended.
Yeah, recommended. Like I'll see things that I like on Instagram and I spend time on Instagram, but then I see like right at the top of the video it says like subscribe, follow, like whatever. Like I don't know these people. Why are they coming up in my feed, not on the For You page?
Right.
That was the point of the For You page.
That does tell me though that no matter what we do, we're going to struggle on Instagram, and it's kind of, in the past it didn't bother me so much because I had this great passion for makeup, and so it was like all I want to do is do makeup, well, build a following.
We were just doing it consistently on both platforms, and we had success on one.
Right. We started going somewhere on Instagram, and then they hit the algorithm change, and it was bad. It went bad real fast.
And we were inconsistent too at that point, and it just
tanked us.
Yeah, we went from we were getting 1,000 some at the top of our likes, but now we're back to lower than 100.
Right, and like a really good one will be like 150, which is fine. Like it's not that I don't appreciate people liking it and stuff, but my goal is to put what I'm doing out there,
and it's hard to do that without the incentive of
people seeing it.
Yeah.
So it's really nothing to do with
on TikTok I know it's reaching people.
Right. I mean, almost every time I post TikTok, it immediately has a couple hundred views, and we have a couple hundred followers, so that tracks. Like that tracks for me, and we almost always get like 1 or 2 random followers from it, and we're not even a little consistent on TikTok.
No, never.
Anyway, that's just kind of like an end piece, but we will do better. We will get better. Our goal is to be kind of like full-time YouTubers again, like we were doing before. I'd really like to get back into it because it was such a big passion for so long. But let us know if you guys have any like stellar mini palettes that
grabbed your heart.
If you got any like If Auric released new shadows and I missed it, let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!